Would limit that ambition, ladies and gentlemen? Two things. One, time. Time. We do need time to translate this ambition into a treaty, into texts. And two, the divergences that may crop up between our interests and our objectives. And in particular, the response that the UK will provide in future weeks to a question. The UK is leaving the Union. We respect that choice. It's not leaving Europe. Does it wish to distance itself, and to what extent, from our regulatory model? And that is the question that we need an answer to, which will be provided by the UK, and that will determine the level of our ambition. As of today, we have three areas to work on together. One, the conclusion of the process of ratification of the Withdrawal Agreement. Two, implementing the agreement itself in all its dimensions, and that's not something that can be neglected. It's of importance for citizens whose rights written into the text have to be respected. And also, I would recall, Madam President, and I would say this to Mr. Kelleher and Mr. Kelly, amongst other members, the interests of Ireland and Northern Ireland, where peace and stability is paramount. And then the third area is the future, new negotiations in a limited time frame. We heard the British Premier say he didn't want to ask for an extension of the transition period. Such an extension is possible and will remain possible until the 30th of June if the Union and the UK both agree to it. They can both agree or say no until the 30th of June, but that time is limited. So if I continue to be very frank, in that limited time, it may not be possible to do everything, but we will do everything possible.
But we will give it our all. And
so naturally, if what we want to deliver is a new roadmap covering all possible dimensions, then we need more time. And we would have to continue beyond the transition period, beyond 2020, to continue to work with British citizens and to negotiate. So I will enter into a last commitment under the authority of President van der Leyen and with the confidence of the President in Office of Council and yours. We will continue to work using the same method, the same level of transparency and frankness and dialogue with all of the commissioners involved and the services of the Commission. I would just like to say one last thing to Mr. Michael Ivor, who expressed himself very vehemently and said, we are proud to be British. Obviously, we respect and understand that pride. But, Mr. Ivor, all of us here are proud of being patriotic. All of us. And we don't need to receive lessons on patriotism from you. The only thing I want to say is that our patriotism and pride has an extra dimension to it in that we feel our patriotism is today and will be in future in the coming world more and more solid because common actions and a union of Europe backs that patriotism and that pride up. Thank you.
Merci, Michel Barnier. And now for